Okay, Assalamualaikum everyone. Today our group will discussing a topic which is titled Overcoming Cultural Stereotype in Malaysia. Malaysia is a unique country that is rich in cultural diversity with people from different race, religions and tradition living together in one society. However, cultural stereotype can sometimes create misunderstanding and negative perception among different communities. This stereotype may affect unity and harmony in our multicultural country. Therefore, in this discussion, we will explore more how we can overcome cultural stereotype and promote mutual respect among Malaysia. So to begin with, I will talk about our first point, which is celebrating culture in Malaysia. One effective way to overcome cultural stereotype is by celebrating the diverse culture in our country. Malaysia is well known for its cultural festivals such as Hari Raya, Chinese New Year, Diwali and so on, which is reflect the rich tradition of different communities. When we celebrate these cultural events together, we learn more about each other's tradition, values and belief instead of judging based on stereotype. For example, open house celebration allows people from the different backgrounds to interact, share foods and communicate with one another. This helps to build friendship, mutual respect and understanding among the different communities. By celebrating cultural diversity, we can strengthen unity and create a more respectful, inclusive and harmonious society in Malaysia. So, Speaker 2, how about your opinion?
Thank you, Speaker 1. Okay, now I would like to continue by explaining my opinion and idea, which is enhancing positive interaction as the best way to overcome cultural stereotype in Malaysia. Okay, the first point is positive interaction. So, this positive interaction can be strengthened by enhancing interaction between communities. For example, when people from different backgrounds participate in activities together such as community program or group project, they can understand each other better. So this helps reduce prejudice and prevent people from making unfair assumptions. Secondly, we need to promote open and respectful communication. So through this honest conversation, people can share their experience. At the same time, listening with empathy allows us to understand differences and avoid misunderstanding, which often lead to stereotypes. Lastly, it is important to highlight positive cross-cultural moments by sharing success stories of cooperation among different cultures. So we can promote unity and emphasize common values such as respect and teamwork. So in conclusion, enhancing positive interaction through community interaction, respectful communication and positive cross-cultural experience is the most effective way to overcome cultural stereotype in Malaysia. So how about you, Speaker 3?
Thank you, Speaker 2, for your opinion. So in my opinion, the best way to overcome cultural stereotype is actually through education and awareness. Important education actually starts from home, where parents play important role in teaching their children basic etiquette and knowledge. Like, what should the parents do? So firstly, parents themselves should be a role model for their children. As we all know, youngsters who commit any discriminatory behavior, either they do it in public spaces or workplace. So this law actually allows actually help to make sure that the marginalized communities like indigenous people are protected. So what about you, Speaker for?
Okay, I see your point, and I believe it's very important. From my own perspective, I would like to add that social media is also play a significant role to overcome the stereotype in Malaysia. So first of all, social media helps by sharing a real story for a different communities, which people can share about their real life, about their culture in online. So, for example, the food they eat, how they celebrate their festivals and their family activities and all. So, by doing these all things, others can see the real life stories online. So, this actually can help people to more understanding about how communities live in real life. Okay, so this actually can lead to overcome or to reduce the misunderstanding between our society, and can reduce or prevent people from believing the negative stereotype in our Malaysia. Okay, so the next one is social media also support working with the cultural content creators. So as we know, Malaysia have a lot of content creators. I give for example Chinese and Indian content creators working together, showing that they are celebrating Deepavali or Hari Raya. So by doing this, this actually they can actually explaining how the tradition works and make the younger generation to have a better understanding about our culture. And this also shows that the festival is not exclusive for one group, but also can be shared and be respected by everyone in Malaysia. Okay, the next one is social media also play important roles to promoting the cultural festivals. We as a social media user can use social media wisely to promote our culture festival, such as posted videos or the photo in all kind of platform. So this actually can attract people to more appreciate about they appreciate our uniqueness of culture in our Malaysia. Okay, the last one is social media also useful in correcting misinformation. So as we know, misinformation can lead to misunderstanding that can causes the negative stereotype in Malaysia. So by we as a social media user can do something such as create a poster or maybe a video related to information, correct information, to make sure it can prevent the stereotype in Malaysia. So I think that's it. So over here.
That's a great point, Speaker Paul. I also agree that empathy works especially well in overcoming cultural stereotype in Malaysia. I'm a firm believer that understanding other people's perspective and experience, as we understand them, it reduces our tendency to generalize or judge too quickly. Stereotypes, they usually come from assumption. So they act as mental shortcuts that makes us simplify people into group instead of individuality. So empathy actually challenges this by helps us slow down and reflect. Why do they behave this way? Is it their societal norms, or is it their communication style? Instead of we're just asking, why do they act like this? So this is especially important in multicultural country like Malaysia, because each people in culture, they have different values, communication styles, and social norms. So without empathy, misunderstanding can happen a lot. But with empathy, especially cognitive empathy, we begin to see that these behavior actually make sense within their own cultural context. On a practical level, empathy encourages active listening and curiosity. So instead of assuming we already know something about another we listen more carefully, and we ask questions respectfully. Over time, this will reduce misunderstandings and helps us build more genuine connection. So overall, empathy doesn't just help us understand people better, as it also helps us reflect on ourselves. And that combination, I think it is what makes empathy such a powerful tool in reducing cultural stereotype in listening.
So you want to have give each point. So but I strongly agree with the speaker 3 point about education and awareness as an important way to overcome cultural stereotype in Malaysia. Education plays a key role in shaping people's attitudes and mindsets, especially among the younger generation. When students are exposed to multicultural education in school, they can learn about different race, religion, tradition, and lifestyle in Malaysia. So this helps them to understand and respect cultural difference instead of believing in stereotypes. So how about you?
Okay, thank you, speaker one. Okay, I understand the point about education and awareness, and I agree that they are important. However, I would like to disagree with the speaker's 3 point about education is the best way to overcome cultural stereotype in Malaysia. Okay, from my opinion, social media is more effective approach, especially in today's society, as speaker 4 said just now. This is because education from schools and parents takes a long time to show the results, while social media can reach people immediately. And from this social media platform, people can see real experience, daily activities, and cultural practices from different communities in Malaysia, like speaker 4 said just now. So, in conclusion, I believe that social media is more effective way to overcome cultural stereotype in Malaysia society. How about you, speaker 2?
Thank you, speaker two. I actually agree with you. I was agree with the point from speaker four, which is by using social media to overcome cultural stereotypes. As we can see nowadays, almost everyone have smartphone, and eventually they will have their own social media account. People of all ages are actively using platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or even TikTok. So this social media actually allow them to share their own unique experiences about culture to global audiences. And this platform also will help them to break down their own misinformation and challenge the stereotype. In addition, many influencers and public figures nowadays also use social media platform to speak up about stereotype. This influencer actually educate their followers through educational videos, and which I think is the most powerful way to create awareness among them. What about you, speaker?
Okay, so for me, I actually agree with the point that education and awareness are the most effective way to overcome the stereotype in Malaysia. Why? Because for me, education is started from home, where parents are become the first role models, and children should be naturally learn or do the same as their parents do. For example, the parents should have a good manners, respecting the other culture, and by doing this, children will be more follow their parents compared to their friends. Okay. So besides that, for me, also school also play a significant role to shaping the students' mindset, where as we can see through the multicultural education and cultural exchange activities, students can learn to appreciate the Malaysian diversity from a very young age. So from this exposure actually can help students to become more know or learn about our culture in Malaysia. So that's why I very strongly agree with the education and awareness are the most effective ways to overcome the stereotype in Malaysia.
I agree, and I would also argue that education is actually one of the most effective ways to overcome cultural stereotypes, especially in multicultural society like Malaysia. So when I through biased narrative. So with proper education, people are exposed to accurate histories instead of surface level information. So, and I also believe that education also trains individuals to recognize stereotypes as cognitive shortcuts rather than fact. When people learn how biases work, they become more careful about generalizing or judging others too quickly. More importantly, education promotes critical thinking. Instead of accepting stereotypes passed down by society, people start asking questions like, where does this belief come from? Or is this actually true? So that shift in thinking is powerful because it replaces ignorance with understanding. So to conclude our speaking today, education plays a crucial role in reducing cultural stereotypes because it provides people with accurate knowledge, critical thinking skills, and a deeper understanding of different cultures. When people are educated properly, they are less likely